Some restaurant owners say they have lost 30% of revenue due to these new restrictions. That's after they were finally able to open. This according to the New York Post. Let's welcome in now Congresswoman-elect Nicole Malliotakis, who represents the great people of Staten Island, New York. She represents the 11th District, that's Staten Island. Great to see you, Congresswoman-elect. So happy to have you with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So these lockdown orders for Thanksgiving not going over very well. What are you going to be doing for Thanksgiving? Are you going to have a big gathering?
Well, I think actually my family, we're at exactly 10, so we're okay. But when you look at what the governor is trying to do, it is really upsetting so many people throughout my district and across the state of New York. When you think about it, Jesus's Last Supper would have been illegal under Governor Cuomo. And I think he's really, this is certainly an overreach by government, and he has no place to dictate how many people you can have at your Thanksgiving table.
Well, New York City Councilman Joe Borelli, who's one of our friends here on the show, he said this, quote, "I'll be having more than 10 people at my house for Thanksgiving. Kids will see their grandparents. Cousins will play in the yard. Sis-in-law will bring strawberry rhubarb pie, and turkey will be overcooked." The rhubarb pie, strawberry rhubarb pie sounds delicious. But the point is here, I mean, the New York City police officers have had enough on their plates this year alone. And, you know, to ask New York City police officers or other law enforcement officials around the country to try and enforce these lockdown measures, I think is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and it's during a time where we're seeing crime skyrocket in our communities. In New York City, murders are up, shootings are up, burglaries are up, car thefts are up. People are very concerned about the direction we are going as a city and state. Mayor de Blasio cut $1 billion from the NYPD budget, and they're giving them, you're right, these type of enforcement, these burdensome regulations, they are being sent to restaurants, they are being sent to do inspections, they are basically what's extortion of our small businesses, constantly hitting them with violations and fines. And instead of the NYPD being able to prosecute crimes, now he wants them to do enforcement over, you know, Thanksgiving dinner. It is absolutely ridiculous, and I think government needs to get back to the basics of what they're actually supposed to be doing. Public safety is paramount. We need to make sure that our cops are out there fighting crime, not enforcing these burdensome regulations.
Well, apparently Governor Cuomo thinks he's doing a pretty good job because he's going to receive a $25,000 a year raise. This is the same governor begging the federal government for bailout money. New York currently has a projected $63 billion budget deficit. That'll happen over the next 4 years, according to the New York Post. The same guy literally begging New Yorkers not to leave. He'll even make you dinner. New York also has 14,000 more COVID-related deaths than the next closest state, and that's Texas. Now, this raise would make him the highest paid governor in the nation. Does he deserve to be that?
Look, I don't doubt that the governor puts in a tremendous amount of hours doing his work, but certainly this is no time for any type of raise for government officials in the state of New York. As you mentioned, there is a significant deficit. We have many problems with our local economy. Taxpayers are fleeing, so you're going to be losing a tremendous amount of tax revenue. We don't have the tourism that really injects a lot of money into our economy, and you know, our businesses are struggling. So you know, just the revenue from that's not going to be what it was last year. So this is not the time, as you said, with them asking for federal monies to come into the state to offset costs, to be doing this. And New York has incurred a tremendous amount of expense due to COVID, you know, the increased testing, expanding the hospital capacity. All of that comes at a price, and we are in very dire fiscal times right now, and we need to be focused on that. So look, he should donate that money back to the community, to an organization that is helping with COVID relief. But it's not the time, or just not take it at all and keep it in the coffers of the state.
Well, he's out on that book tour, so he's got a secondary source of income. I mean, I know a lot of people want to read how successful he was combating COVID-19 in that book. And of course, I'm being a little sarcastic here. But let's talk about something that is great news. You're one of 16 new GOP women that's going to be sitting in Congress for the first time, ready to take on the squad. You guys are going to call yourselves the Freedom Squad. And maybe I think you're lowering yourself a little bit because you got 16. They only have 4. You guys have the numbers. But this is going to be quite a stark contrast with a lot of new voices in Congress, and you're one of them. Congratulations.
Well, look, I appreciate that. We don't have a name. We're just people who are being united by our love of America, of freedom, of liberty. We want to preserve the American dream for future generations. But it does turn out that there are a few members in this freshman class that share similar backgrounds. I'm the daughter of a Greek immigrant and a daughter of a Cuban refugee. We also have two other members from Florida who come from Cuban backgrounds as well. Carlos Jimenez came here as a 6-year-old boy escaping the Castro regime. We also have somebody from the Ukraine, Victoria Spars, who was born under Soviet Union rule, representing Indiana now in Congress. We also have two immigrants from Korea as well, whose families fled North Korea to South Korea and then immigrated to the United States. So this is something that is natural, that is an alliance that is forming with individuals who want to preserve our freedoms, want to preserve the American dream for future generations, and want to push back against socialism because we know firsthand what it is like to live in other countries. Mm-hmm. We want to ensure that we don't bring those socialist policies here to the United States.
Now, it really is amazing to see refugees from North Korea wind up as members of Congress, the daughter of Cuban and Greek immigrants, other children of immigrants really understand how important this fight against socialism is. We appreciate your time, Congresswoman-elect Nicole Malliotakis. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.